I have this crazy idea, maybe you've heard of it, that deep down all human beings are good. Now, how do I judge goodness? What is goodness to me? I think that goodness is the desire to be kind, the desire to progress as a whole with other people and not fight against them. The, the feeling that we are all one and can only move forward as one, and that any harm that we do is only to further that united progression that is defined by kindness. Now, we all have different definitions of progress and what it is to be a whole as a united humanity. But the thing that makes people, I guess you could say, either crazy or evil is, well, let's start out with crazy, is that they have a complete misunderstanding of kindness. And when you have a complete misunderstanding of kindness as far as how humanity should progress or how we progress as a whole or how you act towards others, when there is a fundamental misunderstanding of how you can be kind, then that's when you become not kind. You basically become evil, but it's more madness. What I'm talking about. When you incorrectly evaluate reality that surrounds you and that is at the heart of the human race, that's when you are more mad than evil, I guess you could say, and you end up doing evil things because of because of the madness, because of your misinterpretation of reality. Now, what makes somebody evil, which is very few people, the vast majority of the human race, I think, are good deep down, that want to grow with everyone else and want to do good. But the truly evil people understand reality, but don't care. They want to satisfy their own desire to do harm or their own desire to basically cause chaos. And they understand what kindness is. They understand what goodness is. They understand how we can all move forward together, but they decide to go against it. Now, these people are very few among the human race. And I think that people like serial killers might be, and I mean serial killers in the sense that you kill a lot of people, not in war, not in self-defense, and not even to steal their stuff. Because in a sense, somebody who steals from somebody else and hurts them is trying to live up to their own idea of goodness, which is benefiting oneself, which is still mad. It's still madness, but it's not evil. Evil is that understanding of reality, but going against it because you don't care. Now, these are two very different things, though they sound very similar. Madness, I think Hitler, for instance, was mad. He was insane. And he thought that by killing all Jewish people and making the Aryan race in charge of everyone else, that was kindness to humanity. That's how we move forward. It's incredibly incorrect and really evil. But he really thought that was the way to show kindness. That was the way to be good. But when we encounter serial killers like Bundy or Marilyn Manson, we see people who it's arguable about Marilyn Manson because he didn't seem to be very sane towards the end or even, at the start of his killing spree. But I think that he understood reality. I think Bundy understood reality, but they just didn't care. And then they manipulated people away from the truth that they knew about reality so that other people would join them in basically just doing what they wanted. Not necessarily just what they wanted, but actively harming others, and Marilyn Manson knew it, that he was actively harming others without working towards goodness or kindness, but he got other people to basically become mad and work towards the same goal through that understanding of reality and tweaking it within the minds of others who would listen to him. So this is a very slight difference between, evil as a result of madness and evil as a result of understanding reality, but going against it just because one wants to harm. But wanting to harm people, I don't think, is at the core of the vast majority of the human race. I think that these people are very few. I think that deep down, everybody wants humanity to progress, and we just have different ideas about how that happens, whether it be spiritual, religious, or political. We just have different ideas about that happening. So we can, if it's somebody that, okay, I'm very liberal, let's say there's somebody that's very conservative. I don't think that they understand reality and are actively working against it. I think that they're, for the conservative people who want to cause harm and think that the people that they want to cause harm against, whether it's just through inciting these ideas or backing certain wars, I think that they ultimately want kindness to exist. They want to further their own goals because they think that humanity will progress. Not that it will, but very violent and very conservative or even very liberal people. I think that violent people in general who want to cause harm to others, they all want the human race to progress. And they think that the way that they understand it and try to push for certain ideas about war or about the trickle-down economics or about, not giving handouts, whether it works or not, they are trying to progress humanity. But there are some people out there who don't care about humanity's progress. They want to cause harm because they like it. And even understanding reality, they don't care about that understanding. They care more about basically achieving their own goals of enjoying harming others. And that's why there's so few of those people in the human race, because I think deep down we're all good. The titles we give ourselves as far as, labels like conservative or liberal or, Christian, Muslim, atheist, Hindu, Buddhist, Taoist, or, Shinto. Native American tribes have many different spiritual systems. Some of them are very similar. Others are very wide-ranging in their ideas. So like the ancient Aztecs believing in jaguar gods. And the ancient Aztecs sacrificed a lot of people to the gods to try and basically keep them at bay so that order could exist. And that was more madness than it was understanding reality and just still working against it because you want to do harm. That's why even so many evil things that have been done throughout history, so many things that cause harm, weren't necessarily done willingly to cause harm to the human race. They were just done because they had an element in varying degrees of madness, of not understanding reality, not understanding the human race, not understanding which actions they should take in order to progress all of us as one. But there's always, even the people who believe that, let's say, different race doesn't exist, we're all one human race, should stay separate as like different tribes, and we should just be separate, communities. Even people who believe that think that the human race will progress in a way in which everybody will be much happier and we'll all be more productive, and there will be a paradise where everybody's separate and doing their own thing. But of course I don't agree with that. But even people who believe that different so-called races should be separate are trying to work towards a progress of humanity, however ill-informed and ill-imagined their dream is. Now, we have to look at ourselves as well all the time. There are varying degrees of madness. There's different magnitudes of a delusion. So we have to ask ourselves, am I doing this for kindness, to help the human race and myself progress forward? And which am I placing first, myself or the human race? We have to ask ourselves these things so that we truly look within and decipher the elements that could attribute to a madness or even an evil, even an all-out deliberate evil. So when you look at yourselves, make sure to be as unbiased as possible. I try to be as well with myself, and I'm not always successful. But when I do try to be unbiased and look at myself, I look at myself through the people's eyes that view me. When I look through the eyes of somebody who knows almost everything about me, which there's a few people out there who know everything about me, because I share everything with them, and I share a lot on here. I share a lot on here. There's very few things that I'm not willing to share, but there are people out there that are very close to me that know exactly everything about me, and I try to look through their eyes and reassess myself as far as what kind of person I am, what my goals are and where I'm going, my progress. And then I try to assess myself through a completely logical standpoint, just viewing myself logically. And then I view myself through compassion. These are all filters that if we view ourselves through all these different filters, then we get a whole spectrum of understanding about ourself. So, try to understand yourself. I try to understand myself. And I hope that every single one of you take this to heart and truly try and understand yourself. But hey, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video was interesting. If you like this video at all, hit that thumbs up down there. It really helps the channel. And feel free to shoot any comments in the comment section below, whether you agree or disagree, whether you think good and evil actually exist, or they're just ideas that never existed. And if you're somewhere in between, feel free to comment as well. So thank you very much for watching, and y'all have a great day.